All right, it's 8:30. Let's rock and roll. Hi there. I'm Bob Bickle, and I'm with RunSignUp, and this is the RunSignUp Symposium. If you are scheduled for a different departing plane, please see one of the flight attendants now. Wow, so this is really great. It's so great to see a lot of familiar faces. I still have no idea anybody's names, but I see familiar faces, which is great. This is our 5th year of doing this. This year we've reached capacity of this venue. I kind of like this venue a lot, and I think we may stick with this for another year or two. But it's great to have you all here. The thing that strikes me is kind of the cumulative experience that's in the room. Like if you add up all of our years that are related to this industry and stuff like that, it's a lot. And the other thing that strikes me is how lucky we all are to be in this industry where we're kind of helping other people. So you think about like the money that all of you have raised, or the different types of things and charities or community events and things like that you've impacted and so forth. And our network is really just incredible when you think about the power that this room delivers. So what our job is, it's to provide technology for you all to keep doing that stuff, right? And so what we've done is this year we've got 3 tracks. One track is kind of focused on kind of sharing user experiences. So hearing from other race directors and timers and race management companies about what they do, so you can kind of take and learn from some of their tricks and tools. There are 2 tracks, generally speaking, that are focused on kind of RunSignUp tutorials. I have heard from more than 1 or 2 of you that you don't use all of RunSignUp's features yet, and that we keep pumping them out at you. So this is a chance to really learn about features. All the RunSignUp people that work for RunSignUp are here. If you see a RunSignUp person, go talk with them, ask them about what they do, and tell them about what you would like to have RunSignUp do better and stuff like that. As an icebreaker, you can ask RunSignUp people to show both sides of their badges. They have a serious side of their badge, and then a side of their badge that says something funny, like they're the founder and CEO. We will end today with a Q&A. You can ask me any question. You can ask me about our business, our financials. Am I over time yet? So a special thanks to everybody at RunSignUp. To pull this thing off, our company is like 31 full-time employees. So it's not a big company, considering how many customers we help. This year we'll probably do over 5 million people register on the RunSignUp platform, which is a lot for 30 people. But those 30 people come together and do this amazing job putting this whole facility together. And the one who just deserves an amazing amount of credit, I don't know if she's in the room, she's probably doing something, yeah, is Johanna Good. Let's give Johanna a round. Okay, so the philosophy of the company, the only thing that's changed on this slide is that little graphic keeps changing every year. But it's still the same information. We view ourselves as technology people. So from the very beginning, we felt that the endurance industry was made up of these tens of thousands of micro communities. Might be a race, might be a running store, might be a running club, whatever. And none of them have the expertise or the critical mass to do technology well. And so that's the place that we fill in. And we want to do it in such a way that we build it on this open platform so that everybody can use whatever pieces are useful to them. They can plug in other pieces that they might have from other providers and stuff like that, and that they own the data and they're in control. And we wind up being a pure technology company. And the way that we do that is we think about that within the context of these micro communities. So this little flower picture here shows how there's so many different types of organizations that interact to create a race and to create an event. And the runner is the centerpiece of that. And so how do you collect and get all this stuff working together, focused on that runner, and kind of continue that cycle for a race. And what our job is to do is to provide the technology to make all that happen. So these are our guiding principles. So I talked to a couple of people last night. They were asking me, how do you grow this company and stay kind of on top of it and stuff like that? And this is how it's done. The one in the upper left is kind of my mantra, as an individual, and kind of how I think that people can wake up early in the morning and go to work and feel motivated and stuff like that. And basically, I think that people need to work hard. I think they need to continually learn, and I think they need to do that by having fun as well. And to make that more meaningful, doing that not just by yourself, but in the context of a team. So everybody on the team kind of working together and having fun and doing interesting stuff is kind of what gets me up in the morning. It's what got me up in the morning to come here and talk with you all and be with you all. And that's kind of, the individual has to be satisfied, and that's kind of the first important piece. The second piece is this little idea that everybody at RunSignUp has responsibility. And we really give people responsibility. Like, they really feel it. And the great thing about that is if someone feels responsibility, they work double hard to really do a good job. And while I might be somewhat bright, the person that's doing the job can do that job and figure out how to do that better than I can tell them how to do it. And so taking that responsibility is a really key part of making our thing efficient. But if you have all these people taking responsibility, but there's all these things that are happening, how do you make that efficient? You don't want to have meetings all the time. You want to actually reduce your number of meetings. You want to minimize communication. And the way you do that is by trusting. Like, I'm trusting that Matt Avery is holding that camera and will destroy that film shortly. But that basic issue of responsibility and trust creates a very efficient system. It allows Matt Avery to spend all of his time doing his thing. It allows me to spend all my time doing my thing, and it makes it very efficient. The third one here is this idea of employees, customers, and owners all being on the same team. And that is really, really fundamental to how we think about this. I've written blogs on this called the three-legged stool, and you think of it in the context of a three-legged stool. Like, if I'm trying to rip you off by charging you a higher price, well, that makes the stool kind of tottery or teetery. If you're trying to complain to me that my prices are too high, we should give you a special discount because you're special, that makes it kind of tottery. If, obviously we have a vendor-customer relationship and stuff like that, but the reality is that we're really on the same plane. If we don't view each other as equals, we're not going to maximize this relationship. So to that end, we've done some things to try to encourage that. One is customer advisory board. So yesterday we met for about 5 hours with our customer advisory board. And the customer advisory board is made up of a mix of companies and races, and they come from a bunch of different walks of life, if you will, so we get diversity. And we rotate the people that are on that board. If you're interested in being part of that, talk to one of the RunSignUp people and bubble up the idea, or talk to me, because we do like to have kind of shifting people so we don't put too much burden on them. But the purpose of that is for them to spend kind of the extra time in a closed setting so that we really get a good exchange of ideas and can talk openly and honestly about stuff. A second part of that, kind of community sort of thing is this community grant program. So the Customer Advisory Board worked yesterday, and they decided upon which charities would receive some money. The community grant program is not to give money to, a cause such as breast cancer or something like that. It's to put a little bit of money into the pockets of some organizations that are trying to, through running and endurance sports, benefit their communities. This year we received 162 applications. These are the 5 finalists. Johanna will be putting out a press release and a blog post about these, and you'll be able to read about them all. Just amazing amount of energy in the community of ideas kind of coming through and coming in to benefit this endurance industry and kind of keep the flywheel going. The other thing that we did, back to that idea of the three-legged stool, when I started the company and Steven joined, I didn't really know what was going to happen with this. I didn't know it was going to grow into this size and everything. I had a little individual LLC that we just ran RunSignUp under because I do consulting work in software companies. And so what we did is we formalized that and made RunSignUp an S Corp. The great thing about having an S Corp is that you have shares. And the great thing about shares is that it does what the name implies. You can share the shares. And so what's happened is that every employee at RunSignUp has options in the company. It's a tax-efficient way of giving shares to the company. And our company's plan is not, we don't want to grow super big. We don't want to get sold or acquired or anything like that. We want, I want to be doing this for another 20 years, and I want the younger people in the company to be doing it much longer than that. And I want to make sure that everybody in the company feels like they're a part of actually owning the company, because they really are and benefit from that. So as we continue to make profits and things like that, we'll do dividends, and so everybody shares in that, and it gives us nice flexibility and stuff like that. So the company, life is good. We're doing really well financially. We've got this product portfolio that is really, really outstanding. And even more so, we've got kind of the team that keeps pushing that product forward. We've got the people that are caring about our customers, that are really trying to satisfy our customers and stuff like that. And it results in happy customers. So that little flywheel of customers, employees, just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. What's happening in the market is that there is consolidation. So Running USA just came out with their numbers. It fell from 18.5 million to 18.3 million participants, according to Running USA, and the number of participants in races. By those measures, we have between 23 and 30% market share, depending upon the distance, if you look at the individual pieces of that, which is pretty astounding considering, where we were 8 years ago, fumbling along and didn't know what we wanted to do. And what's great is that we've got this wide swath of types of customers. We've got, timers, we've got small races, we've got mid-sized races. We have 14 of the top 100 races, which I think is kind of market leading. And we've got continued fast growth. So in a downward market, we're growing market share. And adding 1 million registrations this year is fairly significant in terms of where we're heading. So what do? We have a race lifecycle platform. People call us a registration company, but that's kind of a misnomer. That is how we make our money. But what we're interested in doing is building technology that helps you through your entire race lifecycle. So there's kind of two pieces to this at a very high level. One is functionality, being able to send an email, being able to give a price discount, when people refer 5 friends and stuff like that. And then the other part is the data. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. It's basically how you can interact with your customers to both satisfy their needs and to maximize your revenue. So what happens if you're utilizing the CRM and all these functions, data keeps coming in here, and that data becomes more and more valuable, and then you can kind of utilize that data and other functionality to send back out. You all know that we have a lot of features. This is an eye chart, and this doesn't even cover like 1/10 of the features of the platform. What's great about the RunSignUp community is that we continue to get ideas and we continue to implement ideas. And what's cool about our technology platform is as we implement those ideas, they're available to everybody. And it's a very kind of democratic, very kind of all-inclusive type of strategy. So we're going to cover year in review, and then I'm going to tell you about what we're going to do in the coming year. So these are kind of some of the highlights of the year in review. So user experience, if you're a user of RunSignUp, you have seen drastic changes over the past year. The race website's changed, The dashboard has changed. A lot of the individual features have changed. We've introduced new features that look cool and colorful and are easier to use and stuff like that. We have a strategy overall in our development process called continuous improvement. So we put out these very small changes, very incrementally. Last year we had, over the past 12 months, we've had 1,600 releases of our software. You guys don't even know it, but in between clicks, your software is getting updated. And that technology is really, really cool stuff. Race websites. I implore all of you, please update your race websites. Like, we have a new template out. All it takes is like 2 clicks, and you've got a much newer, nicer looking. We didn't want to force everybody over to the new look, but it is so worthwhile. It just is, it's a lot nicer. So here's my prediction on race websites, is that increasingly you guys are going to use the RunSignUp race website as your race website. And the reason is that the RunSignUp race website is data-driven. So all that rich data that comes out of the CRM is available immediately, right? As soon as you've uploaded a photo, the photo is on your race website. Your race website is getting traction there. Your sponsors, as soon as you change or add or delete a sponsor, that happens on your race website. You don't have to do anything. And all of your emails automatically include that race sponsor and things like that, right? So this idea of data-driven websites is going to overtake content. I know a lot of people will hire like a marketing firm and have a fancy website design, custom design for them. What I'm telling you is that custom design, the value of that decreases over time, and it's actually the functionality that matters. And the other thing I'm going to tell you is that Darren and company are working to make that user experience even better on the race websites. So my prediction is that a year and a half from now, pretty much everybody is going to be using RunSignUp race websites instead of their own proprietary websites. Race dashboard, we've made a ton of improvements in there in terms of ease of use, style, compactness, and race insights has been brought front and center. Race Insights is a beautiful piece of technology. We have basically built our own Google Analytics and customized it for races. Races are really interesting, right, from a business perspective, because they're really pretty small business entities, and the transactions that you do are actually really small. And so how do you make technology that fits that type of environment, right? And you take Google Analytics, it is so difficult to use that 99% of the people in this room would have difficulty in fully utilizing it. And even if you were really smart, you wouldn't be able to customize and really understand what's happening with that technology or what's really happening, because it doesn't do things like separate out the registration fee and the donation fee and stuff like that and give you the types of metrics that you're doing there. We've made a ton of improvements on email marketing, and it's just been fantastic, the stuff that Andrew and the rest of the team have done over the course of the year. CRM is this new term that we're using. Really, RunSignUp is a CRM. It always has been, and that's been kind of the philosophy of the company, is to kind of make all this information that you're collecting available to utilize through a bunch of tools. This year, we've introduced a new profile page, CRM management, cross-race views. So when you're searching on somebody, you actually see an individual, and you're seeing that, oh, this individual ran 68 races. So if they're calling in for a refund or a deferral, you can be nice to this guy, please. Or if you don't know them or anything like that, maybe you're a little bit harder with them. And you can keep notes on that. So I can put in a note, say, oh, we gotta, I gave this guy a deferral because he's a good guy, and that way when Erin looks him up, tomorrow, she'll see that note that I put in and understand what happened. In addition, we've consolidated and made it really easy to do all the different participant management types of functions that you need to do. The other thing that we've just recently introduced is kind of the real meat and potatoes of what you all will want to do with CRM over time. And it's this idea of CRM Promotions. And basically, the example that we have here is you create a quick coupon and you pick a set of lists that you want to include and exclude. Like you want to include past participants but exclude current participants, because why send them a discount notice? And then send an email. And all this is done in like 3 or 4 clicks. It's really nice and simple and easy. You can do this today with RunSignUp, right? You can go into the coupon page and create a coupon. You can go over to the email system. You can create your own, set of lists. You can create your own stuff like that. But this is really the idea that we're going to put more and more power, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Another thing that we just recently introduced is multi-race bundles. These are really, really awesome. Actually, we could have used this. My little Scott Coffee run and Philadelphia Run Fest did a joint medal. So if you ran both of them this year, you got a special medal. And we had to kind of do that in a kludgy type of way. This would offer a really good way to do that. And so that you'd offer a bundled service both in the Scott Coffee Run and in the Philly Run Fest, and they'll be able to sign up, and basically it keeps track of all that money and it puts the real participant in each real race and in each real event and stuff like that. We give you lots of flexibility on the pricing. There has to be trust between the 2 race directors, right? Because I've got to trust 9/11 folks that, if we do a cross promotion here, the money I collect in my race website, if I collect more, then I'm going to pay it to them. It keeps the money in the race that the person signed up in, but we give you all the reports so you can figure out how to transfer the money afterwards. RaceDay Scoring is a strategic product for us. So there's this product race director that Roger Bradshaw created 28 years ago, back when Matt Avery, the guy holding the camera over there, looked like that. Yes, Matt used to be cute. No, Matt, you're still cute. I love you. So Roger joined our company, and race director last year did like 8 million participants. So that's a lot of people. A lot of timers use it and stuff like that. And so we have an obligation to have a next generation of that. But it's also interesting what's happening in the market in general, in that this market has been dominated by 2 products, Race Director and RunScore, that are both cheap, 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 cheap. You cannot afford to build a scoring software product given those prices. And so there's not a way for a software company to get creative and do that. So you have to do it. You have to justify the expense of building that product with something else. Chip companies do that. And so, Chronotrack has their scoring system and stuff like that. But the problem with that, let's try to take a picture of the screen with it. The problem with that is that then the timer gets locked into a single chip system. So we're coming at it from the perspective of developing an open platform. We're trying to solve the Goldilocks problem of have the power that RunScore has ease of use of Race Director, but in a modern platform. It's in beta now, and we'll release it in December. And then we did a whole bunch of other features, and this just covers the surface. I didn't feel like doing all 1,600 here. Another thing that we did this year is we established some new partnerships. The first one we did a couple months ago was Strava. And the interesting thing about the Strava relationship is that it allows a race to extend the meaning of their race to before the race, to the training duration of it, right? So if you use this idea, in a very proactive way in your race, and a few races are doing this now, it extends the meaning of your race, and it gives you a way to reach and build a community that is greater than just the race day. It's the whole training experience too. We are announcing today 2 new partners. One is Road ID. So Road ID, probably everybody knows what that is. The great thing about Road ID is it carries a safety message. What we're doing is allowing races to offer Road ID and kind of benefit from that safety message, carry a safety message to their participants and things like that. The way it's going to work is, and it's going to be available in another 2 or 3 weeks, you'll flip a switch and RunSignUp to turn Road ID on, and Road ID offer will get added to your add-ons. So when people go through registration and say you're selling a hat or something like that, they'll also have the chance to buy Road ID. Road ID is giving a very low price to those runners. So I think their list price is somewhere around $35, and your runners will be able to buy it for 25 bucks. So you're offering your runners something in return for that. In addition to that, Road ID is offering races some additional incentives, and those will be coming out, and you'll be able to pick your own incentive. You'll have the opportunity to get some Road ID gift cards to hand out to winners and things like that, or maybe some Road ID bibs, or maybe a little bit of revenue share. The other announcement we have is with RaceInsure. So there's a number of different insurance needs that races have. One of them is to cancel in case there's really bad weather or something like that. And so that race cancellation insurance is really hard for an individual race to buy, because it's too much risk for an insurance company to take on an individual race. So basically what RaceInsure is doing with us is they're treating kind of the RunSignUp community as a collective and giving an insurance rate based upon that breadth. So the rate winds up being very, very low. There's other insurance products in the market that cost about 50% more than this offering. And part of the reason that we're able to do that is the size of the RunSignUp community. Also, a strategic decision that we've made is that we're not going to make money on partner types of situations. So we're not going to drive our revenue or our profit by selling other people's stuff or anything like that. We will sometimes take an upfront fee. Like Strava paid us some money to do the development for the integration. And so we will do that, but that I think is kind of fair game. But we don't want to put ourselves in between on a business type of basis. So let's talk about the future. So CRM, we kind of have these first three check marked off. So CRM, let me take a step back and talk about this diagram. The basis of CRM is your race day experience, your brand, and your message, and how you treat your customers, right? And that has nothing to do with technology or anything. Technology can help enable some of those experiences and things like that, but it really comes down to that as the fundamental foundation. So CRM, while it would be great and nice and everything, is no magic pill. It's not going to double your registrations or anything like that. But it does provide a bunch of nice functionality. What we have introduced in a very early fashion, and remember this is going to be continually rolled out over the next year with lots and lots of features, is CRM lists and CRM promotions. And I'll talk about those on the next slide. The other thing that's going to get hooked is the CRM analytics is going to get hooked into the core engine. The other thing that we want to do is CRM automation tasks. An automation task would be automatically send a birthday greeting to everybody that ran your race last year and include a coupon 3 days before your birthday or something like that. An automation task might be whenever somebody in your race runs a PR, send them a special congratulations email and stuff like that. CRM lists, this is just kind of, don't pay too much attention to the details of this. There's lots and lots of ideas on this. But the basic idea is that you're going to be able to create a list of, say, almost kind of any type of query over time. So an example might be people that signed up with a coupon last year. People that signed up right before this price increase on July 31st last year. I'll be able to sub-segment those people and then target them specifically with different types of promotions. I'll be able to do things like look for loyal customers and run a loyalty type of a program to give them a special entry price or just a special entry time. Allow them to sign up a week before everybody else is allowed to sign up. So there's a bunch of different ideas in here, and the great thing is that all this stuff will get measured with Race Insights. See, there's planning in that Race Insights thing, because you could spend a lot of time on CRM promotions and you don't know what happens to them. that's kind of a wasteful thing. So run some CRM promotions, see what worked, and then rinse and repeat. Promotions, a lot of our effort this year is going to go into automation and CRM-oriented sorts of things. So there's a bunch of things in RunSignUp that are just drop-dead easy to do, and every race should be doing them. Referral rewards is an example of that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be making those much more obvious and almost turn them into opt-out types of things when you renew your race or when you create a race. Lots of cool stuff on that front. Race and fundraising websites. One of the big features we're going to be adding before the end of the year is yourdomain.com. So you'll be able to go to RunSignUp, and instead of having runsignup.com/myrace, you'll be able to either transfer your domain or buy a domain. We will automatically take care of all the SSL stuff for you. We think we have a killer way to do SSL in a very affordable way. It will be an extra charge because of the SSL costs mostly, but it'll probably be under $100 a year. And so it will be extraordinarily affordable for a secure website, which is great. There will be a lot more kind of eye candy. So you'll have more template options, more options in terms of making your website richer and stuff like that. We also want to, a lot of organizations really have a charity behind them. And they want to have donations all year round. That's kind of different than a race website. So we're also going to be coming out next year at some point in time. So you'll be able to create a donation-only kind of website that will work with your race websites. So RaceDay Scoring, the point of this slide is that there is actually a real need for a next generation of RaceDay Scoring in the industry. And we almost have an obligation to do it. Given the team that we have. So Roger Bradshaw has been doing this for 28 years, and he desperately wants a new generation. He has a bunch of arrows, he knows all the mistakes he made the first time, and he wants to have this second chance of like a clean sheet and starting from scratch again. And so it's a tremendous opportunity. Steven Sigwart, our CTO, and really the guy that is the reason why we're all here, is an unbelievable talent in terms of development. So he created the core engine of scoring. I used that engine actually August a year ago when I was the first user of it. I scored a prediction race with it. And having somebody like him to develop something that is truly next generation it's a unique talent that we have and something that we needed to share. Matt Avery has grown up since that picture, and he's got a wealth of talent. He's been a timer. His undergrad degree is in computer science. He has basically worked support and helped a lot of the timers that are in the room today over the past couple years at RunSignUp. And so he has this wealth of experience, and he has these ideas in his head of how this product should work. And because he can do some code, he actually helps on the coding as well. It keeps it really honest in terms of what can be done and things like that. James Harris is the creator of RaceJoy. If you don't know about RaceJoy, if you think tracking 10,000 people on their phones and sharing that with 20,000 other people is an easy job of programming, you are dead wrong. It's more than just that nice little blue dot that's moving around a map. It is difficult technology. When James built RaceJoy, not only did he learn all that, part of his strategy was to hook with timing equipment vendors. And so that provided the basis and the knowledge of how all these timers actually work and what they do, and provided depth in terms of the integrations of all these different chip systems and stuff. He got a chance to kind of rewrite the connector that he had as part of RaceJoy and in RaceDay Scoring. And then Michael Chisholm has been with us for a couple years now, and he's worked on the RaceJoy platform. And this offers an unbelievable, great opportunity for him to expand his talents and learn more and to do more. And then Ben just joined us this summer as an intern. He's been doing a really great job. And tomorrow we'll talk more in depth about RaceDay Scoring. So the summary is, the way I think about this is that we're all in this together. The purpose of this is to learn, it's to work hard, it's to have fun, it's to all be on the same team, right? Going back to those guiding principles. So that's it. This afternoon we'll have open Q&A. You can ask me anything. You can approach me individually in between, and follow your agendas, because I have no idea what's happening next. Thank you.